Hold up, say what? Say what? What's wrong with all these haters? They lying, and I'm saying, I'm trying to put my partners on, we always gonna be first. A team of all-stars like there's diamonds on my t-shirt.
Look at all these haters' faces, boy, all they hurt. We winning everything earned, nothing given to us. Repeat champions wanna win, then you gotta go through us. Non-debatable, so don't talk to us. Woo!
First take, every word great. Direct and produce verse, check out that wordplay.
TUTV's First Take is brought to you by Saxby's Coffee.
Welcome to First Take College Edition presented by TUTV. I'm your host, Megan Huffnagel. We have some new faces on the desk today, Cleve Laws and Phil DuPont, two Temple students, two Philadelphians born and bred, and of course, our resident Sports Center anchor, Christian Riley. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
And every time I say that, guys, I want to be like, in West Philadelphia. Okay, you guys with me on that one?
No.
Okay,
You say so.
Tough crowd here. All right, it wouldn't be a Philadelphia-based program without some Eagles-Cowboy talk, so fellas, let's do just that. On Sunday night, AT&T Stadium hosted one of the most talked about rivalries in the NFL to prove which team would take second place in the NFC East. The Philadelphia Eagles traveled to the Lone Star State to take on America's team in the Big House of the South. The Eagles were fresh off a bye week and a loss to the NFC leading Carolina Panthers, while the Cowboys had just been plain struggling, succumbing to their fifth straight loss with a Tony Romo return nowhere in sight. Good news, though, the Eagles won in overtime with a Sam Bradford pass to Jordan Matthews for a 41-yard touchdown. But more importantly, the Eagles' running game is back. And guys, what a great way for Bradford to celebrate his 28th birthday. So what does this win mean for the Eagles at the midpoint of the season?
I think it bodes well. And I think mostly because people came into this season with such mediocre expectations for this team. You shake up the team as much as Chip Kelly did in the offseason. He gets the keys to the Lamborghini. And he really just, he waned my trust specifically. But coming into a Cowboys game like this, it's a big stage, big game for you to win. It's a division rival. Even though they're not as good as they could be because of injuries, you still have to come away with the win. And I think the creative thing that happened yesterday specifically, was that they found a way to win. They found a way to get the job done, which is something they haven't been doing all season long.
So what I take away from this game, there's some good things and there's some bad things. So yeah, the running game is back. That's great. But at the same time, where was the defense? I mean, allowing for over 400 yards in that game, the defense is better than that. I'm not even an Eagles fan, and I think, it could have been a lot better. Just allowing for that many passing yards. And, Sam Bradford also having the best game of the season pretty much. But I just feel like it was like a give and take with that game.
I agree with you. The defense wasn't up to par as it has been all season. I mean, they've been stout against the run and allowing 134 yards rushing on the ground. Obviously, it wasn't ideal for this run defense. But at the same time, I agree with Phil. Finding ways to win in the NFL just goes underestimated. I mean, that's the name of the game in this league. No game by any stretch of the imagination is a free win. So it really doesn't matter if the team's 2-7, 3-10. It really doesn't matter. Just finding ways to win games is the name of the game. And this Eagles team, as you alluded to, Phil, the rushing game was much better. DeMarco Murray, 83 yards on the ground, a season high. And I know that that's nothing to be proud of. 83 yards on the ground is nothing earth-shattering. But at the same time, it seems like this offensive line finally started clicking, started playing much better in terms of the run game. And, I mean, between DeMarco Murray and Ryan Matthews, I mean, this running game was back. And I feel like that this is something they can build towards, now that they have Miami Dolphins, Tampa Bay, and Detroit, so three mediocre teams at best coming up on their schedule. This is something that they can really build on. And now you're looking at possibly another 3 straight wins. You're looking at 7-4, and this team is in pretty good shape in the NFC East.
So, guys, speaking of Dallas, what do you guys think of the whole Greg Hardy abuse charges and then going off on a coach on the sideline during the game? What do you guys have to say about that?
I think he's a passionate player as far as going off in the locker room on coaches, things like that. That's sort of a natural thing for this guy for some reason. But it just doesn't excuse going off the field. Off the field in your home with somebody you're supposed to care about. A woman, first of all, never touch a woman. Don't care who you are, specifically Greg Hardy. you don't get an excuse. I don't care how many millions of dollars you make and how much income inequality is between me and you. You don't get to put your hands on a woman no matter what the case may be. And that's all I have to say, really. I mean, there's really nothing else to say to that.
I'm not even going to really give this topic, that much time today. All I'm going to say is it's crazy how NFL fans will condemn Michael Vick still for dogfighting, but will look at Greg Hardy and, turn the other cheek. And it's another thing, especially with Dallas fans. Well, they're able to boo DeAndre Jordan for changing his mind. We all know the fiasco over the summer. But just being mad at him for just changing his mind, but we'll look at Greg Hardy and be like, okay, I'm in support of this guy because he's playing for our team. That to me doesn't make any sense. I mean, even Jerry Jones, his daughter is avid against domestic abuse, and he signs him anyway. Okay. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, we'll move on from this football talk, and we'll talk about the Sixers today. So it's not all that surprising to Sixers fans that the team is off to a 0-7 start. Even with top 3 pick Jahlil Okafor, the Sixers just cannot seem to build a franchise that has height or depth or help. This franchise hasn't played in a playoff series game since Game 7 against the Celtics back in 2012, which they ended up losing. It seems like forever ago, but this is the same team that was led by Allen Iverson in 2001 to the NBA Finals. All that being said, what do you guys think of some of the new recruits and returning players, along with the Sixers' possibility of having a 500 record and possibly maybe making the playoffs in the Eastern Conference?
Playoffs? Are we really talking about playoffs?
I mean, I said possibility.
So far this
a possibility, guys. Come on. I said the word maybe possibility.
Listen, I hate to break it to you, but there is absolutely zero chance this team even sniffs the playoffs. I mean, the fact of the matter is this team has Jahlil Okafor, and that's about it. They have no pieces around him. And, I mean, this is what they expected coming into the season. This is what Sam Hinkie expected. This is why they've tanked the last couple of years to build up on these draft picks. And speaking of those draft picks, this upcoming 2016 NBA draft is going to be the franchise turning point for this team moving forward. They have 3 first-round picks, possibly a 4th with the trade coming up. So, I mean, this is going to turn the corner of this franchise. They have to make out very well in this draft. Oh, and not to mention Dario Saric comes over from Croatia, which is a guy that drafted back in 2013. His contract will expire in Turkey, and now he comes over to this team next year, a 6'10" power forward that has a lot of talent, ton of versatility. So this team, the future is bright. I will say that this Sixers team, there's something to be excited about moving forward, but unfortunately, nothing to be excited about other than Okafor this year.
Now, me personally, I've always said this. I've said this time and time again. The Sixers aren't a bad team. They're not. I mean, look at some of these games. Going, 108 to 102 against the Cavs one game, going 107 to 100 against the next, 91 to 87 against the Bucks. They're not a bad team at all. They can play the game. It's just that they can't finish. I mean, yeah, you got Jahlil Okafor, who's basically right now carrying the team on his back. And that's not something a rookie should necessarily do. Plus the fact that the lack of a point guard really hurts that team. I mean, sure, you got T.J. McConnell, but, I mean, really, it's T.J. McConnell.
Hey, still T.J. McConnell, just saying.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, some of these games are close. They're a team that can play. They showed it last year, too. They're a team that can play, but when it comes to the fourth quarter, they just can't come away with it. I think that's due to the lack of vets, too. I mean, you got people like Nerlens, who I think is one of the longest people on the team right now. It doesn't do them any good. So I don't see them even possibly, reaching 500 at all.
I mean, if you look at the point differential when they played the Bulls, it looks like they didn't even have a fourth quarter. It looks like the Bulls showed up for the fourth quarter and the Sixers were in the locker room. 111 to 88. I mean, this is a team that hasn't scored 30 points in a quarter all season and probably won't. I mean, that's not a team. A team that doesn't score 30 points in a quarter, to me, is not a team that is worth an NBA title.
Okay, guys, I'm going to have to cut off the basketball talk to tomorrow. I mean, I know you like the Sixers, and I love T.J. McConnell, but with that, we're going to have to go to our first break here on First Take. You guys need to take all this heat to Miami back because it's fall in Philly. And with that, we'll be right back.
Now, usually I'll anchor SportsCenter here on TUTV, but Megan Huffnagel is a real utility player. We sent her out Broad and Master Streets to give us a look at what's going on at William Penn High School for Temple's newest proposed addition.
Thanks, Christian. I'm here live on location of the old William Penn High School, where, as you can see behind me, all the construction going on as Temple looks to add to its school with its new sports complex. The school recently closed its door in 2010 due to lack of funding, declining enrollment, and poor building conditions. Temple purchased the land in 2014. The completion date is set for August 2016 and will be the home to Temple's men's, women's soccer teams, lacrosse, and field hockey. Stay tuned, because in the next hour we have the opportunity to sit down with the board of directors and talk about the possibility of the stadium coming in North Broad. I'm Megan Huffnarrow, reporting from William Penn High School. Back to you in the studio, Christian.
Now, Chairman of Temple's Board of Trustees, Patrick O'Connor, confirmed that a proposed 35,000-seat stadium with an estimated cost of $100 million is being pursued for the northwest corner of Temple's campus. He said the issue is expected to be discussed at the December Board of Trustees meeting. O'Connor said that if the stadium is built, it will be much more than just for the football team. When asked about whether uses for the stadium, Connor said, quote, "We want it for community events such as high school sports, along with concerts, academic purposes," close quote. Now, Temple won't be the only school in the American Athletic Conference to recently add a stadium to their campus. Cincinnati's Nippert Stadium was at 35,000 seats before an $86 million expansion to 40,000 seats this year. Houston Stadium holds 40,000, and East Carolina's Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium can seat 55,000. But Megan, great stuff. Very professional. That's it for me, and I'll let you guys get back to the action at the desk.
Thank you, Christian. Oh my gosh, I hate watching myself, but I guess that's the beauty of live television. But let's take this opportunity to move on. Working off of what Christian was talking about, Temple football is kicking butt and taking names. This year's team has already broken half a dozen school records. They sold out 2 games at Lincoln Financial Field, all while upsetting cross-state rival Penn State, which hadn't been done in 74 years. Now, with all this excitement on campus, the university looks to literally build off of this momentum. Could a new stadium be making its way to North Broad? What could this mean for the athletic program, guys?
I mean, I think you, in your wonderful live hit that you did yesterday, I think you did very well.
Thank you.
Don't
Thank
fault
you.
yourself. You're
Thank
great.
you.
I think you and Christian pretty much said it all. I mean, yes, you have to be objective when you're taking a perspective of seeing what's going on and the information that you've gathered so far. But, and Khalid, I want to ask you this question specifically. Do you think cutting off 15th Street, do you think building a new parking garage, do you think that having a football team now that's successful will bode well in the future when it's probably going to be mediocre? Temple has not proven that it can keep itself floating and above water as far as football is concerned, let alone a 500 team. I just don't see this stadium helping the team with recruiting, with anything other than showing the AAC that we're here to stay. That's the only thing that this says to me.
Well, I don't really have a problem with them building a new stadium. I mean, with hope, hopefully they can build off this momentum, get better recruits for the years to come. But the only problem I have with building the new stadium is just the location. I mean, you're putting it, in the heart of North Philly, basically. Yeah. The surrounding area has been known to not be that great. So I want to see how, having all of that around here would, affect not only the neighboring area, but also, the team as a whole. I mean, like I said, the neighborhood's got a lot of problems. So just having something like that, I don't know. I'm curious as to see what it would bring. That's, the only issue I have with it, really.
It's interesting to me is where are we going to put tailgates? Where are we going to have promotion events? Where is this going to take place? Because this place isn't going to have a parking lot. This isn't going to be a place where you can say to yourself, oh, the students will all congregate in Lot K like they can at the Link. They could throw a party at the Link. And I understand if we play a team like Penn State, it's only a 35,000-seat stadium. That's not going to cut it. You're going to have to play a team like Penn State or Notre Dame at the Link. I get it. But we put on a party every time Temple takes the field at home.
Very true.
And where are those parties going to be? Not only that, how is this going to affect the neighborhood kids that play in that park that's there already?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's something they've thought about. I don't think that's something they care to think about.
Yeah, that's like I said. That's the only problem I have with it too. It's one thing. You're trying to. I can't even really say. It's just I don't know. I mean, I think the location is bad. Like I said, I've already said that. It does affect, like I said, the kids, especially that, because, you know, that's a place where they're going to play. Now they're going to have to take that somewhere else. And like I said, that in turn hurts the neighborhood because now you're bringing in too much.
Okay, well, I'm going to cut you off there. We'll talk all about the location of the new stadium tomorrow. But that's all the time we have today for this episode of First Take College Edition. Big thanks to Phil DuPont, Khalid Laws, and, of course, Christian Riley. Join all four of us back here tomorrow as we talk about college basketball rankings and Temple taking on #1 UNC in their season opener. For the First Take College Edition team, I'm Megan Huff-Nagel. Have a great day.